used here by SK to get into that A site, or perhaps displace the defense.
Indeed, A split is here, and they've got the standard plants, which have standard smoke, sorry, which have been in train since the old one. Bomb is going to get planted, but Fer will get picked off at the same time. Now the question is post plant. Coldzera is on a late flank. He's starting to move now, just as the CTs move into the site.
Yeah, it's a great position. He's biding his time. He wants stuff to get a little bit hectic on the bomb trains. The CTs will not be looking, but he actually gets caught by S-Tag. And the USP will not do the job, actually. Coldzera wins the day there, but his teammates are few and far between at the moment. It's just Coldzera left. The defuse is coming in, and there's no way that Cold can actually catch it from that angle. He's got to go wide, and he can't do that. There's just covering fire all over the place, and that is it. Heroic do win the round with the defuse, but SK, importantly, did pick up the bomb plant, so that pressure could be coming in straight away.
Yeah, and some may wonder why Cold wanted to fight from that position when the bomb's not planted for him. But if his teammates are able to stop the CTs from getting to that bomb, then all the CTs will essentially, or half of them at least, will be exposed to his position. Molotov was a nice idea, but it's slightly too short. And that will allow or help Heroic get that first round on the board. 3 players with rifles, including S-Tag with a French gun, and SK have gone for the full spy. You don't expect this all the time. Double scout play. Most of the time, you're expecting SK to come in here with Glocks and go for the big guns in the next round, but they've gone for the surprise attack.
Yeah, I'd love to know sort of where the mind is to make this decision for SK. Obviously, if they have a plan, it can be amazing, but could it also be for the fact that they're just very confident against this team? Right now, you know, they haven't shown anything. They've got 2 scouts, and the thing is they want this to be a surprise. As you say, the expectation for Heroic are thinking, most likely Glocks at the moment. So in that sense, SK, they have to play explosively. They need to give away what they're holding as late as they possibly can to position themselves the best way possible to take this bomb site. And it looks like Snappy gets a great headshot to start off with, and this is not going well.
Yeah, and the CTs are making money. They haven't lost a single player yet, and Fer, with all of 4 HP, doesn't look likely to pick a player off either. And there he goes, dispatched of by the grenade. So a perfect round from Heroic, exactly the round they needed. And of course, SK with a failed force buy, no plant, means there's more money to be made for this CT side.
Yeah, that does really put them pretty far behind and gives Heroic the kind of start that they really need to have a good match against a team like SK, being the underdogs and so on. I did say on the desk earlier, I feel like, you know, of course, you know, best of 1, there is enough class on Heroic to be able to win a best of 1 against, you know, most teams in the world. So if they get a good start like this, and SK are a little bit too, or take, you know, let's say, very extravagant risks, then they may put themselves in a very bad spot. So we'll have to see how that goes. And alrighty then, that's a nice way to start things off here for Heroic. Of course, there's nothing really there to protect SK, no helmets, but that's always nice, getting those free frags in such a manner.
Nice.
I've noticed, James, there's a lot of players who are actually coordinating their gloves with their knives. And I looked at this and I was like, James would appreciate this.
Yeah, JDM's a notable one with his green knife and his green gloves. Yeah. I respect that.
I think I saw Kirby with the, I think it was blue gloves, blue knife, or purple, or something like that. It was coordinated. Kirby is coordinated, human.
I do respect that, Dan. I do respect that. And also what I respect is the performance that Yugi has been offering in the recent matches. Again, they 3-0'd North to qualify for ECS, and I think he was plus 46 in that series. In the 2-0 versus Fnatic in the Epicenter qualifier, I think he was plus 26 or something. So he's really putting in the numbers. But again, can he do it on land? That's the question.
I just want to say quickly there with Taco, that was like a massive nostalgia moment, like 1.6 for me, because that's the only way you could kill CTs with the Glock. 1.6 is like get that really good like burst in their face at close range with it. Let's see if he can do some extra damage here. But indeed, it's going to be interesting to see if Yugi can continue that form. It must have been absolutely heartbreaking for North. I think there must have been an element of the domestic matchup there that perhaps made things a little bit chaotic for North to deal with. But Heroic, right now, 3-0. They've got the AWP on Yugi. They've got a pretty decent economy, to be honest, for just being 4 rounds in. In fact, it's very good for 4 rounds in. And SK are going to be showing us their first proper round with AKs and utility.
Fallen started with 4,900, and I do feel like he did consider going AWP, no Kevlar. But I think times have changed a bit. Maybe if he was on a CT side, well, he wouldn't be in a situation where it would be AWP no Kevlar anyway. In the meantime, S-Tag's been flashed into position towards the Ivy area. Phelps is holding a passive angle at present, and now Heroic will show their presence with a very deep smoke. That's not a smoke you can throw from the expected CT position, so with a minute 30 on the clock, SK may want to try to re-establish control of that area, or at least show presence over there to move into position elsewhere later on.
It's cool to see the pace from SK, deciding to take it so slowly as they are. We are nearing a minute remaining, and they've not really done all that much on the map just yet. Of course, the initial grenades from Heroic have worn away, and they don't have a huge amount of utility left in the bank. There is enough, though, to defend should there be a big attack. But you see Modi just trying to literally play with fire there to see if he can get his eyes on a pick, but it will actually be SK dropping into the Pop Dog area and looking to set this A split up, and they'll have 40 seconds left to do it.
CT's not sure what is going on. Modi thinking about running towards B, goes back towards the bomb site. And now all these numbers from SK making their way in towards A. S-Tag's going to have to move into the site away from Ivy, and Phelps has started to move forward, and it seems Fer will join him. SK really running the clock down here. It's going to be a desperate sprint. Snappy is close. I think he was on the high ground. Now he's on the low, but if he can get a kill here, that could crush everything. Will it be the 2K for him? He's spraying. There it is. That's the bomb down. Nobody close to get it. 15 seconds. This round is surely Heroics.
Yeah, there might not be enough time to collect it and actually plant. This is so desperate right now for SK. They've got to make the run, the sprint, and the same thing for Heroic. They've got to be careful not to give away, and there's no time. So now Nico just has to survive here, and they've made the correct play. This was really cool from Heroic. Obviously, they just sat there, and it was a big double kill from Snappy to allow for this to happen. But at the same time, the only thing that really worried me was that they were locked in on that defense where they were playing two players really far away from the A site. And so I was a bit worried. There's like 30 seconds left. They're still locked in. You can see on this replay. In fact, 20 seconds left on this replay. And only just now are the two defenders from B actually moving. So that was kind of worrying.
Snappy has to get that first kill. The percentages go up so much with that first kill. When a second kill comes in, that's GG. No one is around the bomb. So it's just not going to happen for them. SK maybe expecting aggression again towards Ivy, and they are right. Is he going to peek? He was thinking about it. He was close. SK with a great reaction to... They've had one buy round to make reads on Heroic, and they've reacted already.
It's quite cool that they've taken Ali away, and I like the adjustment here we're seeing from the CTs. Modi, okay, he's like, okay, we've lost Ali, but I'm going to push into CT main, and somehow Nico there just finding a blind spot thanks to the grenades that were thrown there, and that's going to allow for an equalizer. And that's brilliant, because if we, again, remember, now SK, their main commodity right now is having Ali control. That's what they can work with, but Heroic, they counterbalance this by having Modi pushed on CT main, but it's going to be interesting to see how SK are going to connect, because if Modi gets, again, like Snappy did, one of those kills on those players coming from CT, rather from T connected, that's going to be a really big problem. From T main, rather.
There'll be a gap for Yugi. Oh, his timing is parfait. Takes one down. First still in their position, though. And now Fallen may have to gamble with the bomb. Is he rotating towards B or towards ladder? Fer going to get the double dink, ding dong. There he goes. That may have given Heroic some idea as to what the T's were up to. Fallen jumps down. He has no idea if anyone's close enough to hear him moving. So he will have to be very careful. 1 versus 4, 30 seconds. He's still got time to work. But that time will be taken away by Nico. 5-0 Heroic. And I'm curious as to how many kills are even on the T side right now. They've got 7 kills, 4 of which are on Phelps, which means that Heroic, their money's not terrible, but it is going in the right direction.
And I just love how they are responding on the map at the moment against SK. SK, they've tried to quicken the pace, as we saw in the previous round. You know, as noted, they go for that really quick alley aggression after previously running the clock down so incredibly low and never really making noise on the map. You know, we have these two distinct changes of pace. Neither one really favored SK, so I do wonder if they'll start moving towards a more utility-based style where they try to use that utility to just take the map control. Oh my god, that's actually ridiculous. Oh, you hate to see that if you're SK.
Yeah, last saw that from Skadoodle, if I remember correctly. And there's another one from Modi.
Damn.
If I'm correct about today's predictions, I want a bust of me on the table for playoffs. 4 versus 2. coldzera and Fer remaining with a scout and a deagle, trying to do as much damage as possible, trying to keep the CTs honest. However, a plant would definitely help them with a full buy in the following rounds, The grenades start to rain in, but Fur still got some space to work with. Cold Zero on the high ground will do the best he can, but Fur is quite exposed, and numbers surely too great for these Brazilians to defend this bomb.
Yeah, it does look very bad for him at the moment. That's a nice shot there from Fur. That's one with the Eagles. Got the AK out now, and there's a second frag to be had for Fur. Going for the third. He can't get it, but he's done enough here for Cold, but he's on a scout. It's going to be very difficult, and we've got the smoke down there to pressure that bomb. Yugi capitalizing off the missed shot of Cold Zero, and the defuse comes in for Heroic. They will take the round. SK did a good job trying to salvage something, but it will be Heroics nonetheless. They are 6-0 right now, and SK are yet to find an approach which is reliable.
Free haircuts.
I love how he just tumbles down. Says with his arms in the air.
Yeah, it's not what you needed. 6-0 in favor of Heroic. And if they are not favored on a map such as Train, where SK are notoriously dangerous, then this is the best possible way to start the proceedings. Still early in this match, so I wouldn't get disheartened if you are a fan of the boys on the T side at the moment. And again, Fallen showing presence with that flashbang towards Ivy, maybe suggesting it's another play with 3 people, but nobody's there, and SK will try to advance elsewhere.
I really like this for SK because in applying the pressure in the way they've done it, they're not committing to an A set piece, but what they have done is they've depositioned Heroic's forward defenders, which would be a problem if they do run it. So you want to keep them honest, and you can see now that they've done that, they re-execute, going in on the second go. Taco with a forward position. Frag for Modi is eventually traded by Phelps, but the positioning is here for SK. They've got all the opportunities to take this round now.
Bomb getting planted, smokes around. CTs will have to wait. 3 of the 4 CTs around the IV position, and there it is. Taco reveals himself, almost a second one, but Nico's still alive, and they've got a cross on the site. Snappy on the high grounds. Nico towards connector. Fur and Fallen remain. This is where Fallen likes to dance around these ladders. He's got to have perfect timing though again. Still a man disadvantage. There are smokes down. He's got to force the T's into the open. There goes Fur. Fallen will get punctured as well. The clean sheet remains for Heroic.
And what a great round from Heroic to defend in the way that they did. Again, I was expecting SK to go for a set piece, and they did it in the safest way that they could. And I mean, if we look at the positions that they are in post-plant, that's pretty damn good. The only thing that was really an issue, of course, was that there were 2 CTs stuck behind the smoke towards Ali, and that ended up being an issue as far as the retake was concerned. But at the same time, SK still had a great chance, good odds to win the round. So the fact that from that position, Heroic can still come in strong with their double ops and they're rifling their team play and the communication from that team, that's great to see. 7-0, that's a pretty solid start. But as you said, James, it's early days. SK were always known for having the crazy CT sites. So as long as they can, salvage 5 or 6 rounds on the T side, they're probably not going to be sweating too much.
The way these teams have been playing recently, and also taking into account what they're capable of, i.e. SK, I think any 2 of the 4 teams in this group could make it through to the playoffs. Yugi and Snappy will be snipers for the CT side in this round, and Fallen will be the sole sniper for SK. Still looking for their first round in round number 8. Again, SK with a fast presence. They know what Heroic will want to do based on previous evidence from this match. And I was going to mention also the lack of familiarity with Heroic compared to other players. That's a great shot from Yugi. Straight in the face. Got support from S-Tag as well there. Lovely stuff. More action towards B though.
And this is what SK needed, that individual play eventually working out. Taco finds the open, he finds the in onto a bomb site. It's B, the bomb is going to be ferried across, but it's taking quite some time. Taco is okay with that though, picking himself up another kill as he pushes forwards. Doesn't want to overextend, wants to keep himself within a range to be traded with his teammates. As he falls back, and the retake attempt comes in. 2 players to go, and it's now 0. There's a great shot earlier from Yugi, but that was all it was going to be for him in this round. And finally, SK pick up a round. Finally, it's been a long time since we saw any good rounds from SK, but that was pretty damn solid.
Yeah, this is a key round for both teams because Heroic have bought, but they don't have any money left after this buy. So if they are able to win this round, then SK are probably facing a 10-1, maybe even a 12-1. Who knows how far it snowballs, but if SK can win this round, Heroic will have no money left, they can't buy, and it is the comeback is on for the Brazilians. So perhaps they can salvage something out of this half. Cold Zero charging straight into the site, but he's completely blind, straight back out again.
That's really good work. Great use of flashbangs there from the CT side. Yugi as well getting a pick. And in doing so, Heroic feeling out that SK are playing aggressively with a fast pace, but they've been forced to sort of slow themselves down. And a big issue here, as we can see for Heroic, is that they just don't have utility to really fight like in these very long battles against SK. They're almost out of grenades. They've got 4 left.
Will Snappy rotate from the B bomb site? While there are kills coming in for both sides, perhaps SK's intentions are not quite clear yet for Heroic. Taco and coldzera above the ladder room. Firing some shots, showing some presence there, and it seems that Taco may go on a fact-finding mission towards B, and indeed Snappy, he was near CT spawn, maybe to rotate to the back of A, but has been forced deep into B.
50 seconds remain for SK at the moment as they start to meander towards the B bomb site. Heroic do have 2 members there ready to defend. And it's all going to be about how well this setup works for Heroic ultimately, as SK are looking to move their way in. And they are going to be committed to this bomb site with the time that they have left on the clock. And Heroic know the rotation can start to happen. Here comes SK.
NiKo positioned perfectly, but no kills. He has, though, put 2 in the red. First got a jump with 13 HP. Snappy doesn't realize that there are 2 more players above him. 3 versus 2. 20 seconds to go. Taco on the low ground is going to have Modi and Yugi facing him. And there he goes, leaving coldzera to expose himself by scoping his weapon. 12 seconds. Surely he goes for the save.
Uh-oh, the worst is happening, James. Just as you highlighted, we've got a situation where SK are going to lose this round. All Cole can do is to try to survive with this AWP, and
Heroic can't really afford to hunt him either.
Yeah,
they don't have all the cash in the world, so
yeah, that's for sure. They're all around 3K. So well, I'd say like 3,300 average. So this is a really tense moment now for SK. They're in a position where they can actually force it up with the AWP though. They have between $2,000 and $3,000 per player at the moment in the bank. But with the AWP saved on coldzera, there is definitely a good argument to try to spend some of that money to get something happening here. And looks like they'll be conservative.
Yeah, well, they could buy in the next round. So I think a NiKo is more suitable for them, so they can have a better effort in the next round. But it does make things awkward with the AWP, and you can see. Well, we can't see yet, but coldzera is looking towards B, but he's in a passive position at the moment. But now he's moving forward. So it's like, do you want to really go for it with the AWP, or do you try to save it? It's a very difficult situation, but with so much time on the clock, you've got to try and make something happen. And
that's kind of one of the reasons why I expected them to actually go with the play to just force it up with the AWP, because
that is awesome. Can we just say, he flashed coldzera off the angle, waited for him to peek, and then annihilated him. That was an excellent play from Yugi.
We've seen some great class from Yugi so far. But that's also the problem too with this round, as you stated. It's this weird spot where your game plan is like 2 different things. coldzera doesn't want to commit his AWP because the chances for you to win the round with what you have is so low, and you can't afford a buy on it in the next round. So then you're in a situation where coldzera doesn't want to play aggressively, but then his teammates, they need to play aggressively because there's no other way they can do anything. So you're kind of in 2 minds, and that's why I would have loved to have seen a force buy from everybody. But as you say, we will have full AKs out. So. And also, as mentioned, the economy for Heroic is not amazing. So if SK could have gotten some extra kills in this round, that could have definitely worked out for them to combine in the way they did.
If they got the plant in this round, that would have been humongous for them, because they're going to be really limited on grenades if they do choose to buy the AKs. They had to get the plant in this round, essentially. But, I mean, that execute from Yugi, steal that, use that at home. That is a fantastic way to force somebody off their position and then just allow them to walk into your crosshair. So, will this be a fast round from SK? They've chosen to buy the AKs. They've chosen the one-taps, which means they will be limited on grenades because they did not get that plant. Often this will mean a fast round from people, although SK are never shy to wait until the last 20 seconds, even with the grenades they have at the moment.
So one thing I'm thinking about with SK now is, how do they interpret this situation as far as, what will work the best for us? Well, that's a good way to start things off. Phelps does with an individual effort. I get a kill onto the alley position, so pushing Heroic down to 4 players. But again, we see that response from Modi. Modi's gone to T main here, and this is, again, like how you want to handle things. Either you want to stack towards the side or you want to take an aggression somewhere. You can't just let the team take down a member of yours and then just not respond. So I like that they've done that.
Does he go back to the well, NiKo? That will be enough for him. He will reposition. He has no support at the moment, so he can't take too many risks. Yugi, though, is in... Oh, that's so cheeky from Nico.
That is crazy.
That is unbelievable. He basically just kind of made a fake by standing towards upper and then appearing at lower. You're not expecting two people to be deep towards B when there are only 4 of them left. Because you want that one man to rotate.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of crazy. It looks like a very simple play, but sometimes the simple things just work, and you can't overthink it that much.
It's brazen.
Yeah, I actually really like that from Nico. But SK, they're really forced to go for it now. You said they were comfortable without much time. They don't have almost any time. 20 seconds to plant the bomb. The bomb is towards the B side. It has to rotate through Pop Dog. It's going to have to run all the way. Snappy could ruin everything. Managed to find a way to Skull Phelps, and now there's just... well, almost no one left. It's just Yugi now, as the bomb site will be taken in the nick of time. But Yugi, we've seen great things from him. And now he's spotted. I don't think he's got a great chance now. The element surprise is gone, and they are going to start to hunt him as well. Oh, that was... I like that.
That is a clean, crisp shot there from Cold Zero. But I mean, look at the situation when SK are trying to plant the bomb. They're forced to charge around the site, just trying to look at every angle with an AK-47. That is far from ideal, and that only nets them their 2nd round on the board. It is going to put CTs into force by territory, but it just shows you the struggle that SK are having in order to make any progress in these rounds here on the T side of train.
And SK have a really interesting situation right now too, because with the double orbs, it's hard to play quickly with double orbs. And if they find themselves in a situation where Heroic take a risk, because like this, and if they get the kill, then that's a lot of pressure on SK. But SK are the ones to get 1 kill. It's traded, however. That's really important. Fur, at the same time, choosing to explode out of team aim, picks himself up another frag for the SK side. Again, beautiful cognizance from Fur. Put himself in position, reacted when there was action on Ali, and got himself a kill.
Yeah, with 2 people towards Ivy and a pick in favor of the T's, you might expect a lot more action. Bomb was on the floor, however, but he did some work. East tag on all of 2 HP. And Nico will once again be left towards the B bomb site on his own. With all the action towards A, perhaps SK will have an expectation of that as well. That said, if Heroic think SK will expect that, then maybe that's why S-Tag has made his way towards the B bomb site. Both teams trying to read what is expected of them by their opponents, and it seems that Heroic have made the right play, but are not in the best situation.
Honestly, don't know how Heroic can pull this one out of the bag. They've got so little to work with at the moment. It's going to have to take some ridiculous fragging, and there is 1 frag from Nico, but he's going to lose S-Tag in the process. He perhaps needed a double in that situation. He will creep his way up, but his position likely very understood by Fur, who's about to take this off angle, but that's a great connection there. Nico managing to ding Fur down very low. What is this? Nico with a headshot onto Cole. All of a sudden, Nico is making crazy things happen, and now it's down to Fallen versus Nico in a 1 versus 1. The 4K clutch is what is asked upon Nico at the moment, as Fallen is going to try to play the mind games here. Peeks out. Oh my goodness! How on earth did Nico manage to make this one work?
The 4K from Nico. Is he going to get the defuse though? It's a close one, but I think he's got it. Nice, very nice stuff. That was a great clutch there. That he takes a shot onto the player on the bomb site, and that draws out the player on the high ground, who then gets taken out. So Heroic just ready for everything in that retake. So you see him, he knows he's looking for the trade fragger immediately. You see how he repositions himself? He puts himself closer to the train to cover from the first person he was engaging to take on a second person. It's great awareness by Nico. He has no kit, baits out Fallen, takes him down as well. Monster round from him.
Honestly, like if you just look at where they were at the beginning of that situation when the bomb goes down, honestly the percentages for them to win that are just so low. Either way, Heroic in a great position. Snappy forward to Pop Dog. He's going to make a meal of SK, just gobbling them up with that UMP of his, and the bomb at his feet as well. What a long... Well, that's not nice, but still, he did enough damage. He has found the bomb as well, and his teammates have rotated.
3 of the 4 players on the A site for the CTs. Again, they're positioned well for the time being, but with so many smokes, they can invite variants. Cold Zero creeping around one of them to take Modi out. That means that the bomb is spotted, however, but Nico's not rotating just yet. Yugi around the back of the site, just wishing he could see someone, but been denied for so long. S-Tag not quite getting the kill, but he has got information for his teammate.
Yeah, Yugi's not in a terrible spot, actually, at the moment, and he's got... Of course, Nico to play off of. Nico, at the moment, Dealing with that smoke will go away soon, though. This is really hard here. There's utility to be used. But really, Nico's got to create the space for Yugi to take more forward positions, and he'll do just that. Coming off the back of that clutch in the previous round, now Yugi's in the mix, and he's trying to do what he can here, but Nico doesn't know where to look, and he'll be taken down, and that's the round for SK. A third round. This is actually kind of insane, the scoreline right now. I'm kind of blown away by that clutch from Nico still.
Yeah, that was a monstrous clutch, but it's SK back in the winning column. If they can get 5 rounds, we definitely have a match on our hands. 2 rounds to go, and Heroic's money is getting more and more difficult as time passes on. I really wondered if Heroic were going to win that as well, because Yugi had the angle on Fallen, because Fallen was looking over towards Connector, but he was on the same line towards Ivy that Yugi was on, but Yugi didn't land the shot, and that helps SK get their 3rd round on the board. 1 SMG onto Heroic, the rest on pistols. They have all of 2 flashbangs. It's not going well for Heroic right now. 10 rounds on the board. Is it enough? We'll soon find out. But for now, it's a cleanup operation for SK.
Yep, someone called Mr. Wolf. Everybody's getting cleaned up on Heroic so far. There's not too much to really speak of for them. And the bomb now is available to be planted on this A-bomb site. So it's really just a matter of time. Heroic, though, they can definitely just try to be a bit tricksy. Obviously, the economy of SK is not amazing. They don't really want to lose players here. And there's always the objective that, let's say, Snappy in his position, get a sneaky kill, pick up an AK, save that AK into the next round. It's always a bonus. And that can be dropped to a teammate, get some extra money with the UMP kill, the SMG bonus. So definitely things to be done in a situation like this that are going to give you slight edges. But SK, very wise to this. They're not allowing Snappy to make a play, really.
Silence before violence. 1 round remains in this half. Can they get to that 5th round, SK? Anti-eco frags. Pad them stats, baby. Right then. Heroic almost have an identical buy so far to the previous round. 1 SMG and a bunch of pistols. Very limited on grenades as well, so it's looking good for SK in the last round of the first half. Fallen on the AWP, the AKs are out full utility for the Brazilians. I would be very surprised if they did not come away with this round, but Heroic are still dangerous with these pistols. Going for some aggression towards B. So far, not so good.
Yeah, it's not really working out at all, indeed. But what he's trying to be sneaky by Pop Dog. Not sure if he'll decide to go up the ladder. It's probably quite suicidal. Taco already trying to fish there, Modi. So that's Tank, though, to pick up the kill towards Annie, and that's no one to trade for Phelps, so that's a free weapon. Well, I say free, you know, he did lose almost all of his health, but he picked up an AK, and a headshot there from Yugi suddenly makes this round quite doable here for Heroic, as SK are yet to get positioning towards a bomb site. Oh no, that could have been so disastrous. Cold will save himself, though.
Fallen is isolated with the bomb, however, and that might just be the round. That said, there's a minute on the clock for this to be salvaged by SK. Taco, though, he is making his presence known, jumping, and that is the worst thing he could have
seen.
And it gets slightly worse from Taco. Doing his best. Looking the wrong way, though. Oh, nice 180. Does he know where Modi is? He's trying to bait the shot. He could actually win this. Modi down to the CZ, and that will do the job. 11 rounds for Heroic, stealing the last one away when they were very ill-equipped. A fantastic start from Heroic, but is it enough?
And it's great to see a situation where, you know, Heroic had this good start. As soon as things get dodgy, they have players to back them out, back them up there. Nico, crazy clutch to bring an 11-4 scoreline. Can't wait to see what happens after the break. Well, ladies and gents, welcome back to ELEAGUE Group D, the group of death, and it's right now SK that seem to be right now looking quite dead in the water. 11-4 is the scoreline for Heroic, and it's largely due to this man Nico on the right having a crazy clutch in a spot where SK were surely going to take the reins back in the game to get a respectable scoreline. But Heroic, man, they've got the individual players to actually challenge the legends of the Brazilian teams.
Has he made the horse lame, though? We will soon find out. SK have got to win this pistol round. They are starting on the CT side. And maybe attack is the best form of defense. Let's see what they choose to do. Fallen, smoke and diffuse kit. Maybe in anticipation of some Molotovs. But there are no mollies on the Heroic side. They are full Kevlar. There are no grenades to speak of. No cameo appearance from pistols. Just Glocks. Stock pistols here for the T side. And again, showing presence towards the IV position with 3 players, but SK have got a 2-man setup here.
Yeah, Cole could just annihilate everyone with the help of Fallen. This is quite interesting. I mean, he's close range though. That really makes life quite difficult with the USP. So I have to see. I mean, it is cold after all, but it seems to be Heroic who are just biding their time somewhat. They don't want to essentially just jump the gun, as it were, and be in a position where maybe SK would push and they'd miss out on that. But they're going to go for it, and everyone's going to die, James. Everyone just died within 1 second. I don't even know how to commentate that. But right now it's Fleur and Taco to try to salvage this, but I'm not sure how they're going to pull that one off.
Best of luck, SK, Fleur and Taco. This is a must-win round for them, and the round is over. The round is over, just like that.
James is like, I'm going to set this up, you know, I'm going to build tension, and they're dead.
And they're all dead.
I feel your pain, James, as a commentator. As one to another, I feel your pain.
They are all absolutely toast. Burnt toast, not the type you like to eat.
Well, some might like burnt.
If you like eating burnt toast, then tweet Dan. You're his kind of person. Yep. If you like normal toast, then feel free to tweet me.
I do wonder what's actually complements burnt toast the most as far as spreadables go.
A dustbin, a trash can. 12-4, that is the score. Heroic in the lead at the moment, offering grenades towards the A site, but maybe it's a fake. However, Phelps is close enough to hear these cues, and SK have stacked the B bomb site, so there might be a nasty surprise waiting for Heroic in B.
And here it comes, the grenades. Modi to drop in. Great flashbangs here. Heroic showing their routine, showing their drills. And it will be SK that get drilled off the map. That is crazy stuff from Heroic. That looks so clean. They are looking so good right now, James.
I told you, man. These fools on the desk were like, never mind these guys. Who are these guys? SK are going to win. Well, it's 13-4 at the moment. The record, their recent record speaks for itself. You have to respect them, and maybe they wanted Heroic to earn their respect, and they're on the way to doing that. But it's never over until it's over.
I've got to say, I love this group. I love Group D.
I think it's a great group. I think any 2 teams can qualify.
Yep. Well,
you got to spin to win, whatever that means.
Spin to win. I don't think that's actually.
It means nothing. It means nothing in this actual. But I just wanted to say it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
You know, every now and then I want to say something that sounds like a game show host.
Sometimes just it's just cathartic to say certain things. And right
what would you like to say, Dan? What would you like to say right now? The audience is there for you.
I can't think of it like consciously like that, James. It just rolls off the tongue. I don't think about it. It just happens. I can't just.
Sounds dangerous.
Can't just produce it for you in such a manner. So I apologize. But the bomb has gone down, and the remainder of SK Gaming have nearly.
You failed me, Dan. You failed me after all this time. After all this bloody time. 10-round lead for Heroic, and perhaps it's time for SK to show us what they can do. Time is running out for them to do so. So this is their buy round on the CT side, where they could really make a comeback, but they have the slightest of margins with which to do it. Because of their force buy, they've got next to no grenades. This situation could hardly be more desperate.
Yeah, it is crazy because this is obviously a spot where SK Gaming can be completely fine. It just really relies upon Fallen being able to do Fallen things, more or less. And right now we're going to see him playing in one of his usual spots there by the green train, and he'll have his support in Cold Zero, very standard stuff you'd expect from SK. But Heroic, they're working towards B at the moment. They are by no means committed towards B. It is early in this round. But they haven't pressured team main, they haven't cleared it. They haven't cleared Pop Dog. They have not pressured Ali either. So one would think that this is a committed play, and they're going to go straight in, and they're going to meet Fur and Taco, which appears to be a problem.
Oh man, they got put in that meat grinder. They got turned into that cheap beef jerky. You don't really want to eat it, you know. Prefer more premium stuff. You don't know what's in that beef jerky, Dan. I wouldn't recommend it. It's nasty. I think the play they were making there is early rounds. Almost every team is going to put 4 people in A and 1 person in B. So trying to make a fast play and isolate the player, which might be why Yugi, who was technically entry fragger in that round with the AWP, jumped down the ramp looking towards connector. They're expecting 1 person to be close B and the rotation.
Yep, I think you're completely right there. And actually, it's a great play, I think.
It is, unless you're playing SK, who instantly read it because of the lack of presence
Pressure, yeah.
towards A, and they instantly rotated Fur all the way deep into B. Very quick read from SK. That was one of the things I enjoyed most at Beyond the Summit, was sitting with them when they were commentating, and they would say to each other, like, oh, what do you think of the situation and so on? And they would all be on the same mindset and really analyze what was going on.
Yep.
And that's a perfect example of that happening.
And it's really, it goes to show as well, Counter-Strike is a game at a high level where you have to play actively. Like, you have to be looking at the map and reacting all the time. Just be always very active. You don't want to ever be just you know, totally reactive in that sense, waiting for the things to happen, then react. And we'll see here Taco trying to take the action there. Too heroic. He won't be all that successful as far as a kill is concerned, but he will be successful insofar as if Heroic wanted very fast presence there, that's not. They're going to have to spend some more utility. It's going to have to spend more time to get control of the upper B halls. So in that sense, it's worked out. It does look like Heroic is setting up an A execution here. So this should be really interesting to see. And we saw this previously from SK. You throw the Molotovs down first to try to get rid of any close players, and then you go for the proper execution of the set piece.
There they go, sailing in. Phelps and Fallen playing in front of the smokes. Fallen dancing in and out. Phelps is on his own for the time being, but he's got an electric box as a friend. Not anymore. He's going to get zapped, leaving Fallen alone. coldzera rushing to join him. Bomb getting planted behind the smoke, trying to no-scope and stop it, but he can't quite do it. And there's a flank coming in, but I think it's known because coldzera has been picked off. So desperate situation for SK.
Yeah, this was a fairly telegraphed play as far as SK were concerned, but they just didn't hit the shots they needed to. Now Fallen's deep. Very deep at the moment. He could be attacked from any position. He's got to be so careful. He's got the backup attack who is covering quite effectively, but there's players all across the yard here that are just laying into the attack onto this bomb train that SK are trying to put forwards, and it's just Fur left now, and he's got 2 positions to worry about at one time, and you just can't do it. That's a great shot there from Yugi. Pulls out the orb, headshot straight away, and now Heroic, they almost at James 15-5. Heroic are absolutely beasting SK right now. This is impressive.
When that smoke execute comes in on the CT side, that's a lovely fast shot. On the CT side, Cloud9 are a great team to watch how they react to that. If you look at some of their older demos, because the recent ones they played completely differently, but if you look at how Automatic drops the smoke in front of those smokes towards Pop Dog, and then uses that to obscure him from there and focuses on main, he does a lot with that. SK don't have a lot to work with, but they need to do a lot with it. And that's a good start. Modi getting picked off. CT side, low on utility, low on weaponry, low on opportunity. But they're taking the reins of this round by force, or at least trying to.
Yeah, Snappy making himself a forward position to work off of. He goes to the flash there, but he actually got hit by it, so the flash play is not going to work out. He can't get the peek in. Now it's down to Yugi potentially, but actually Snappy is also committed with S-Tag to try to move in. They're actually getting themselves across the back lines. SK are feeling this presence, but they've constricted themselves around that A bomb train at the moment, and they're allowing Heroic to work these back lines. This could be problematic.
Nico, ends up being bait for his teammate. Yugi delivering again. That's 2 for him. 3 left, and only one of them doesn't have a pistol or less. Nice headshot from Fur. 2 versus 3. There's still time for Heroic to try and clear this out, and they're doing so as the bomb goes down. S-Tag covering from the high ground. Fur 1 versus 3 to keep his team in this match, but he can't do it. Heroic dominate SK on train, putting their stamp early in this tournament. Respect these people.
I mean, if you just look at the Counter-Strike we just saw from the Heroic lads there, I mean, you can't help but be just impressed and excited to see more, because again, we're in the group of death. Not many people are expecting anything from Heroic. We're looking at the 3 big names here, your Liquid, your SK, and your Astralis, but Heroic just said here today, made the statement that we're here to play. We are a real threat into those playoffs. We want to, we qualify for all the leagues, just one left, and we're waiting and ready for that.
Yeah, that is a great first match from them, and they will be playing their second one on national television later on today.